Hi, 7th graders. We are going to go over 8.3's exercises. We've already had the lesson, which was all about area of a circle. Quick little reminder, area is pi times radius squared. Apple pies are 2. At the top of your notebook paper, which you're going to need, you're going to write page 336, and we are going to do numbers 3 through, and I'm hoping we can get through 21, but we'll see how far we can go in this time that I can make this video. So go ahead and write this at the top of your page, and we are going to go ahead and get started. Remember, this is a video, so you can pause it if I go too fast. You can rewind it if I go too fast. Please write down everything that I write down for your work. All right, number 3, it says find the area of these circles. Use 3.14 for pi, instead of a calculator and using actual pi. Okay, number 3, I've got this pin or this button for recycling. It's showing me with this that the radius, which would be half of that, right, is 9, okay? Which is perfect because when I'm finding area, I need pi times the radius, which is 9 in this case, squared. 9 times 9 is 81. So now I've actually just got 3.14 times 81. And I am going to use my calculator just to help speed you guys through this so that my video isn't 45 minutes long. When you take 3.14 times 81, you get 254.34. Now make sure we are labeling all these correctly. This is area, so we're going to say millimeters squared. We're finding out how many squares could fit in here if they were 1 millimeter by 1 millimeter. You could fit 254.34 millimeter squares in there. All right, number 4. They gave me a radius again, which is perfect. It says the radius is 14, so I've got area equals pi times the radius squared. 14 squared is 14 times 14. That is 196. 196 times pi, and I'm plugging these in my calculator to go quick for you guys. I have no problem if you want to grab a calculator too for these ones, just because there's a lot of multiplication. I want you guys to get it done pretty quick. But I got 615.44 centimeters squared. Make sure you guys are circling your answers. I forgot on the last one to circle it, but make sure you circle your answers for each problem. It's easier that way for me to find out where your answers are. Okay, number 5. We've got the radius is 10, so we've got area equals pi times the radius squared. 10 times 10 is 100. So it's just going to be 3.14 times 100. Now remember, when you multiply by a type of 10, this is a 10 with 2 zeros really, you just move your decimal over that many decimal places. There are 2 zeros, so that means I'm going to move it over 2 places. So my answer is 314 inches squared. Pretty simple. All right, moving on. Number 6. This time they gave me a diameter. The whole diameter is 3, which means the radius is half of that. What is half of 3? 1.5. So I'm still going to plug in my formula. I've got area equals pi times the radius squared. 1.5 times 1.5 is 2.25. 2.25 times 3.14, which is pi, you're going to get 7.065 inches squared. Like I said, I know I'm going through this fast, but it's because I don't have very much time to record this for you. Please pause things. What I would love to see is if you guys were pausing the video, trying it for yourself, and then checking your work with mine. That would be amazing, and that would show that you care about how you're doing. So on number 7, number 8, maybe try number 7, pause the video right now, and now you can check how you did. So I've got apple pies are squared. We need the radius. The whole thing is 2. That means the radius would be 1. This one's easy. 1 squared is just 1. 1 times 1, 1. 3.14 times 1, There you go. That was really easy. Number 8, try this on your own. Pause the video. Then you can check with me. Half of 1.5, well, half of 1 would be half, right? Half of half would be 25. So if you add those all together, that means the radius is 0.75. Oh, you cannot see that in this target. There you go, 0.75. So I'm going to say area equals pi times 0.75 squared. Okay, 0.75 squared, I'm just going to do it real quick on the calculator for you. It's 0.75 times 0.75. You're going to get 0.5625. And then times that by pi. And after you do all that, you get 1.76625 feet squared. Okay, let's go ahead and keep chugging along here. Number 9, find the area of a circle with a diameter of 56 millimeters. This is exactly what we were doing up there, it's just they didn't give you the picture. So I've got a circle, the diameter, so the whole thing is 56. If I'm going to find the area, which is pi r squared, I need a radius. Half of 56 is 28. That means I'm going to have pi times 28 squared. 28 times 28 is 784. That times pi is 2,461.76 millimeters squared. There you go. So even though it looks like a story problem, it's really not hard. They're just telling you what the circle looks like without giving you the circle. Number 10, find the area of a circle with a radius of 5. Oh, this is even nicer. They didn't give us the diameter, they give us an actual radius. The radius is 5, area equals pi times the radius squared. 5 times 5 is 25. 25 times pi. And I got 78.5 feet squared. Circle it. Pretty easy, guys. Especially if you have a calculator, just kind of number crunching, right? Number 11. The diameter of a flour tortilla, so a big old circle tortilla, the whole diameter, boop, is 12 inches. What's the area? Pi times radius squared. The radius, so the whole thing's 12, that means half of it would be 6. 6 squared is 6 times 6 is 36. So now I just got to take 36 times 3.14. And you should get 113.04 inches squared. Okay, moving on. Number 12, we're going to use this picture over here to the side. The Hillsborough Inlet Lighthouse lights up how much more area than the Jupiter Inlet Lighthouse? So this is kind of a cool picture. If this is the lighthouse and this is the lighthouse, they're showing you how much the light reaches all the way around this area, which means I want to find the area of that circle and I want to find the area of that circle, and then I'm comparing them, so then I have to subtract them. And it gave me the radius for each of these, so that was really nice too. Let's do the Jupiter Inlet's area first. It's pi times the radius squared. 18 squared is 18 times 18, and that is 324. 324 times 3.14, which is pi. And when you get all of that, you get 1,017.36 miles squared. Now let's go find the area of the big one, Hillsborough. Area equals pi times the radius, which is 28, squared. 28 squared is 784. That times pi is 2,461.76 miles squared. Now it's saying how much more area is the Hillsborough one than the Jupiter one. So now we just need to take these two numbers that we got for area and subtract them. I'm going to do that in my calculator. You guys can do that on your paper. Go ahead and pause the video. Try subtracting this from this on your own. When you've subtracted it, you can check your work with mine. I got 1,444.4, and that would be miles squared. All right, guys, we're almost there. We got a couple on the back page left. Find the area of the semicircles. So area of a semicircle is just like finding the area of the whole circle, but then you just divide it in half. You don't have to worry about adding a side length back because remember, we're not finding perimeter, we're finding area. So we're going to go through. We've got area equals pi times the radius squared. I want you guys to pause the video and try 13, 14, and 15 on your own. I'm going to do number 13 with you. 14 and 15, I want to see if you can do these. So I will be checking 14 and 15 when you guys turn these in, but I will do 13. So 13, we first need to find the radius, right? Because it gave me a diameter. The radius would be 20 because that's half of 40. So now I've got area equals pi times 20 squared. 20 squared is 20 times 20. 2 times 2 is 4. Add 2 zeros, right? So take 400 times 3.14. And you should have gotten 1,256 centimeters squared. Okay, so 13 and 14, those ones are for you. Just kind of like leave some blanks or circle them so you remember to go back. But I do want to go on and you guys try those two on your own. 16. Consider 5 circles. Each one has a radius, and so there's a radius of 1, 2, 4, 8, and 16. Copy and complete the table and write your answer in terms of pi. So they're saying when it says in terms of pi, it means don't actually do the math, just like leave it like as if you were going to times it by pi. For example, let's do the first circle. They've already done it for us, but then this will help you understand it. So if I have a circle with a radius of 1, to find the area, you would take pi times that radius, which would be 1, squared. 1 times 1 is 1, and then 1 times pi, we're just going to leave pi as a pi symbol. 1 times pi is just pi. So that's how they got the pi inches squared. Now they want us to find circumference. Cherry pies, delicious. 1, if the radius is 1, that means the diameter is 1 and 1 is 2. So this would just be pi times 2, which if we're just going to leave it in terms of pi, would just be 2 pi's. 2 times pi. And that's how they got 2 times pi. So now that you kind of see what they're wanting, let's go do the next one. I'll draw my circle. It says it has a radius of 2. Okay, so let's do the circumference and area first. We've got cherry pies, delicious, apple pies are 2. Let's go ahead and plug in these numbers. If the radius is 2, what is the diameter? 4. So this would just be pi times 4, which then we flip those around and we say that's just 4 pi. So the answer right here is 4 pi. And what I want you to do in your notebook is to copy this table down, okay? So you should have this table copied, and that's how you're going to write your answers for A, because it did say to copy and complete the table. So you can pause the video and get that done if you need to. Now let's go find the area. Area is apple pies are 2. We put the 2 in for the R. That'd be 2 squared, which is 2 times 2 is 4. So it's going to be pi times 4, which is just 4 pi. Okay, let's go to the next one. I'm going to erase this stuff, leave my circle. Okay, the next one says the radius is 4. So let's go and plug that in for circumference. I need a diameter for circumference. 4 and 4 is 8, so this would be pi times 8, which if you just flip those around would be 8 pi. Now let's go down here. I've got 4 squared, that's the radius. 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times pi, we just flip those two around, we got 16 pi. All right, let's go on to the next one. All right, so the next one says that the radius is 8. So I'm going to say for circumference, we need a diameter. 8 and 8 is 16, so this would be pi times 16. And flip those around, so it'd be 16 pi. And then down here, I've got 8 for the radius. 8 squared, 8 and 8 is, I ate, and I got sick on the floor. 8 times 8 is 64. Pi times 64 would just be 64 pi. Okay, and now we've got one last one. It says this one has a radius of 16. So now let's go do our circumference first. That would be pi times, now I need the diameter. If half of it is 16, 16 times 2, or 16 plus 16 is 32. So this would be 32 pi. And now down here, I've got 16 as the radius. 16 times 16 is 256 times pi. So it'd be 256 pi. Okay, woofda. Table is done. Now we can go ahead and read the rest. That's part A. Part B, compare the areas and circumferences. What happens to the circumference of a circle when you double the radius? So what happens to the circumference when you double the radius? Well, when you double the radius, you're finding the diameter, right? And so I think what would be a good answer to say for this one, let's see, number 16. I would say the pattern that I see is, there's like no good pattern right here because it's the same. Circumference went 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. I guess what they want us to say is if I have the radius as 1, the circumference will be that 1 doubled, which is 2, 2 doubled, which is 4, 4 doubled, which is 8. Okay, so I would say on part B, when you double the radius, the circumference is that times pi. And then the area, when you double it, it's that times 2 again, right? Oh gosh, these patterns are crazy. I'm just going to leave that as my answer for B. When you double the radius, the circumference is that number times pi. And then we're going to skip C. Ain't nobody got time for that. Okay, so the main thing I'm really going to be looking for is that you guys got this table down. That's the big thing. All right, let's keep going. I really want you guys to do 17 on your own. I'll read it out loud. A dog is leashed to the corner of a house. So like that would be the point right here, the point of the circle. How much running area does the dog have? Explain how you found your answer. So if his leash is 20 feet totally extended, I want to know how much running area the dog has. I'm kind of needing to find the circumference, right? But then I can't find the circumference of the whole circle. It's going to be only of 3/4 of the circle. So I want you guys to kind of use some critical thinking skills. I want you to kind of use a little bit of, I just want to see if you can suffer through this one. I feel like it's really good to suffer through hard problems. Try 17 on your own. Don't fret if you get it wrong. It is kind of a tricky one. And then let's skip 18. And I really want us to look at 19, 20, and 21. Those are the ones I was really hoping to get to. Okay. 19. Find the area of the shaded region. Explain how you found your answer. So before we worry about anything, first of all, it gave us a diameter. And if I'm finding the area, I don't need a diameter, I need a radius. So what's half of 5? 2.5? Okay, so if I'm going to find the area of the whole circle, it's going to be the pi times 2.5 squared. 2.5 squared is 6.25. And I'm going to take 6.25 times 3.14. So the area of the whole thing would be 19.625 inches squared. But that's if I've had the whole circle shaded. How much of the circle is shaded? And some kids are going to go, well, Ms. Ringler, I don't know that because these are like curvy lines. But remember, that is half. If I were to flip this one around like this, those would be identical, which means half of the area is shaded, which means I need to take 625 and just divide it by 2. And when you do that, you get 9.8125. Perfect. Okay, so I'm hoping you guys are understanding this. Now, number 20 is tough. I think 19 was easier than 20. Number 20, what I need you to really see here, because some people are going to be like, I don't see the circle, Mrs. Ringler. There's no circle here. But if I connected that swoop with that swoop, like if I turned them and then connected that swoop with that swoop, do you see how that would be 4 pieces that would make one big circle? So all the white part is a circle. I just need to take, oh, I wish I could draw a perfect circle in there. Ooh, close enough. Oh, there we go. The white parts would create a big circle if I put them all together. So then the blue parts would now be this section that I'm going to color in. And remember, the blue parts are the shaded part that we want to find. So here's what my job is with this problem. First of all, I need to find the area of the square itself. Once I find the area of the square itself, I need to subtract the area of the circle that's inside of it. Once I subtract the area of the circle inside of it, I should get left over with the blue parts that are left. I know that this is hard to see because I've made it kind of messy, but I'm hoping that now that I've changed the picture a little bit, you can see exactly how we're going to do this. So first of all, what is the area of just the square? The square is 9 by 9. So 9 times 9 is 81. So the area of the square is 81 meters squared. Now let's go find the area of the circle. If this is 9, that means this is 9, and that's the diameter. To find the area of a circle, though, I need to take a radius. Let me get my marker a little smaller. Area equals pi times the radius squared. Half of 9 is 4.5. So it's going to be 4.5 squared. Oops. 4.5 times 4.5, or 4.5 squared, is 20.25. Now we're going to take that and times it by pi. Okay, so the area of the whole circle is 63.585 meters squared. Okay, so now this is the area of the whole square, including the circle. This is the area of the red circle. I want to find just the blue parts, which means I need to take this minus this. You guys can go and finish that one on your own. Pretty easy. This minus this. Whatever you get, make sure you label it correctly, meters squared, and that's the area of just the blue parts. So I'm going to erase my picture, and I want you to see how I saw all of that. Maybe. It's kind of glitchy. Okay, so what I saw was that these 4 swoopies, the white parts, this, all together would be the circle, right? So if I take that circle and fill it now in here, these swoopy blue parts are now these little corners that made the outside of the circle, okay? So that's how I kind of changed it to see this problem easier for myself. Okay, last one. Number 21. Oh my gosh, this one's a little crazy. Oofda. Okay, so let's see here. Ugh, you know what? I don't even want to waste the time on 21. Let's skip 21. So really, you guys need to do 14, 15. You need to finish 20. Try 17. Don't worry about it too much if you don't get it. Basically, I just need you to find the, I guess I need you to find the area. Did I say circumference? I meant area. Let's find the area that the dog has to run, and you're going to subtract the area of the full circle. Well, actually, what I would do is take the whole area of the whole circle, right? Divide it into 4 pieces. And once you've divided it into 4 pieces, you'll know how much just that one sliver is where the house is, and you can subtract that sliver from your whole area, okay? So that should help you on 17. I hope that, I hope you guys get that. But then the rest of these, there were some that I needed you guys to finish off to see how you did. But hopefully you guys get all of those, so I can go back over here now and say that the questions are actually just going to be page 336, 3 through, let's say 17. 3 through 17, and then we also did 19 and 20. So I'm going to say 3 through 17, and then also 19 and through 20. Okay, so that's your official assignment right there. All right, guys, if you have that done, make sure you turn it in. I will be checking a few of those to make sure that you guys got them. I will see you guys tomorrow.